Hello and welcome back to the programme. At least one person has died and several others have been injured in a second night of protests in Belarus following the country's disputed presidential election. Riot police were deployed for the second consecutive day after President Alexander Lukashenko claimed victory in Sunday's ballot. But accusations of vote rigging prompted his main opponent, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, to refuse to accept the results. According to Lithuania's foreign minister, she's now safe in Lithuania, having left Belarus. Evelyn Laverick reports.
Protesters in a running battle with police in Belarus for a second night following Sunday's disputed election. One person has been confirmed dead in the violence. An explosive device is said to have blown up in his hand, killing him. Using flashbang grenades and rubber bullets, police tried to disperse the demonstrators while detaining others. Anger erupted after authoritarian President Alexander Lukashenko claimed an overwhelming victory in Sunday's presidential poll, which his critics have called a sham. The result extends his 26-year rule until 2025. Protesters aren't backing off. Many used cars to block highways, preventing police access. Lukashenko has responded with a tough crackdown on demonstrators, deriding the opposition as sheep manipulated by foreign masters.
They're trying to make a mess in our country. I warned there wouldn't be a Ukraine-style uprising. However, many people want that. People need to settle down, calm down.
Lukashenko's main challenger, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, has demanded a recount.
The authorities should think about how to peacefully hand over power to us. So far, they have only responded with violence against peaceful Belarusian citizens.
In the run-up to the poll, Tikhanovskaya had galvanized calls for change, leading numerous opposition rallies. She has since distanced herself from the protests, and her next move is unclear. The subsequent police crackdown has drawn harsh criticism from several European capitals, and the United Nations has called for all sides to seek dialogue. Evelyn Laverick, Euronews.
Well, our international correspondent Annalise Borges is in the capital, Minsk, and she joins me now on the phone. Annalise, we've just heard that Mr. Lukashenko's main rival, Svetlana, has left Belarus. What do we know about her whereabouts, her well-being, and the status of her saying, you know, I dispute the results?
Well, Rosie, the only information we have on Tikhanovskaya's whereabouts is this tweet from Lithuania's Foreign Affairs Minister saying she is safe and out of the country. She is then reportedly in Lithuania. But we've been trying to contact her team since rumors emerged that she had been missing after filing a complaint with Belarusian's Electoral Commission. That complaint she filed yesterday on the grounds that she wanted a recount of the vote. We have not been able to get hold of anyone in Tikhanovskaya's team. And so it's really necessary right now to confirm, to independently verify this information that she has indeed left the country and is safe. The only source for this information right now is Lithuania's Foreign Affairs Minister. When I spoke to her on Sunday, she seemed very confident. She seemed at ease. She told me there was no reason for her to be afraid. She was not scared. I asked her whether or not she was concerned about the crackdown on protesters and on opposition members here in Belarus. She said she was doing absolutely nothing wrong, and therefore she was not scared of being jailed. Of course, she was being a little bit optimistic there because she knows how tense things are in the country right now. Her husband is actually behind bars. He was one of the main opposition candidates, so he didn't even have time to declare himself a candidate. He wasn't able to register in this race. He was actually jailed before he could do that.
Annalise, thank you very much. Speaking to us live there on the phone from Minsk. Well, we'll have more from Annalise a little bit later, but let's take a little bit of a look at now the international reaction, particularly to this latest development. Let's go to Moscow to speak to our correspondent, Galina Polanskaya. Galina, morning to you, particularly about the whereabouts of Lukashenko's main opponent. Has there been a response from the Kremlin?
Well, not yet, but the Kremlin could definitely give an answer to that. It has been watching what is happening in Belarus very closely, and the Russian Foreign Ministry in a statement said that the authorities of Belarus managed to prevent a dangerous escalation of the situation despite the attempts of individual forces to organize a large-scale protest. The statement says, "We are convinced that the choice made by the people of Belarus will contribute to strengthening friendship between our fraternal countries." You see, Russian state TV reports about the unconditional victory of Lukashenko, about a very high turnout and the no violations during the vote. The pro-Kremlin experts invited to various talk shows say that all of the protests are conducted from the West. One of those experts, Sergei Markov, gave me some more details. Let's listen more.
If it comes to the violent overthrow of the president Lukashenko and the threat of the establishment of an anti-Russian dictatorship in Belarus, as it was established in the Ukraine, then Russia is sure it will not stand aside. It will intervene to help the people of Belarus preserve their country.
And Galina, I know you've been speaking to one of the... After you, go ahead.
Yes, I've been speaking to one of the opposition leaders, Valery Tsepkalo. He had left the country recently, and he commented on the Svetlana Tikhanovskaya leaving the country. Actually, he said that she was warned that she would be arrested if she went outside on the streets in Belarus. He also said that it was very dangerous for all those people who are considered to be opposition figures to stay in the country, that most of those who were representing the three headquarters that joined forces were either arrested or were hiding or had left the country. But he said that the people will still go out on the streets and that this protest is not about Tikhanovskaya anymore. It is about people fighting for their right to choose, the right that has been taken away from them. Let's listen more.
Lukashenko declared war on the people. He does not recognize the choice of the people. He planned the seizure of power by force. He's been preparing for all of this. He's been preparing for the fact that people will not perceive and will start to resent this massive falsification.